Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm reviewing the London yearly final for 2022 as well as the Games Workshop US Open final. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video and the events as a whole. And remember, I've got Discord you can check out in the episode description for free, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, today I'm going over two events, right? So the London yearly final, which basically takes the top 16 players in the UK/London and plays in a 4-round final. So it's an invitational you had to qualify for. And then the Games Workshop US Open final in New Mexico, where you had to basically be invited by Games Workshop, generally by winning a US Open event with a golden ticket. So combine these two videos because I'm severely behind on videos. And it's a good way to put them all together, especially as even though I'm getting better, you can tell my voice is not great. It's getting better, okay. So I'll go over the London final first, and then I'll do a bit of a vlog with the US Open. All right. So for the London final, this was, as I said, takes in the top 16 players. It was you either automatically qualified if you won a London tournament, or you were in the top 16 for ITC. And if you didn't qualify in the top 16, it would just take the top 16 players. So even if you were like 18th or 20th, as long as you were still like, because we had some people who weren't in the UK who were in the top 16 and stuff like that. But it was going to be a tough tournament. So it uses their own finals. If you weren't aware, I played in the London Grand Tournament with my Pathfinders where I came second. So for kill team selection, there I used Pathfinders, but I wanted to use Hunter Clade. And the reason I didn't use Hunter Clade was because I was like, oh, there's probably going to be like 6 Hunter Clade, 8 Hunter Clade players at the London GT final. There was only 2. None of them made it to day 2. And I was like, wow, I mean, bloody damn it. I mean, obviously I came second, which was really good for me with Pathfinders, but that was with no practice just because of the boards. So this time I was like, you know what? Everyone expects I'm going to be Pathfinders. I'm kind of tired of playing Pathfinders. Also, people think I can't win for some reason unless I'm using Pathfinders. So I switched to Hunter Clade because the LGT maps, the London Wargaming Guild maps, are quite not so great for shooting, like which isn't bad. Like, but I was like, you know, I want to play Hunter Clade. I'll just play Hunter Clade, and if they work, I'll take them to the US final. So I took my roster. This roster was different. So I had all 4 leaders, so both assassin leaders and 2, what do you call them, Skitarii leaders, 2 Vanguard leaders, and then I had 6 Vanguard, well, you know, 3 Vanguard and 3 Gunner Rangers, and then I had 5 double blade assassins, and then 5 infiltrators, one with a stub like the short range carbine. So I took that. So I'll quickly go over the rounds. So round 1, because we were doing off ITC ranking, like the GW US Open final, so the highest versus the lowest. And because I was the highest ranking, I was against the lowest seeded player, which was Nick, using Veteran Guardsman, as you can see in the picture above. So we're playing loot and salvage, and this, like going into this, I have not played any games of Hunter Clade. All I did was just tons of reading research in terms of, I just read a lot of the kill team and just made sure I learned it. And I knew I was into Vet Guard, and I was like, well, I know how Charles plays, right? It's going to be really tough, especially loot and salvage round 1 against Vet Guard. So as you can see, everyone's kind of deployed there. I went with 4 double blade assassins because I didn't have cord claws, which I would regret. And then I forward deploy one of my assassins up mid. And basically my plan was just to make sure I always get the objectives. So my opponent actually pushed and got, I think it was objective 2, right? But then he left objective 4 in the top right open. So I just ran over there and claimed it. And basically every turning point, so turning points 1 to 3, we both got 3 on the primary. So exactly tied. And it was actually a super close game, super bloody. I had to do like risky charges and stuff. And then basically I won because I maxed tac cops and he didn't. He had taken the faction tac up where if he had scored more on the primary, he would have gotten 2 points. But because he missed that objective and I just suicided a guy on the point to claim it and tied him basically point for point, I managed to win, I think it was 18-16. So it was super close, super tough. And I was just happy. I was like, oh my gosh, was like super tough, but it was going to be a tough game going forward, like a tough tournament no matter what. But that was super fun. Then in round 2, I was against Mr. Isaac with his Imperial Navy Breaches. So this board was Seize Ground on Chalnath, which I didn't like, but I had to play on it. The thing is, I'd never actually played into Breaches before. I'd played them once. So like if you weren't aware, I basically only have enough time to practice via tournament. So I use tournaments to practice. And it was very tough. Like Isaac made some mistakes and I was able to capitalize. Like basically turning point 2, I just pushed up and suicided assassins to contest points. So I took ahead on the primary, but he was killing so many of my guys. And basically what was keeping me in the game was just always winning initiative because he made me go first. Like I was really like struggling to deal with his breaches because the -1 damage, but my double blades helped because they were 4/6. But it was like I was struggling to move through the terrain while his a cutter could just make a hole through all the walls every turning point. So it was kind of like I'm struggling and he was running through. But basically, because I was able to win priority every turn, he could never alpha me and I could alpha him, which was mitigated a bit by his -1 damage and +1 wounds on everyone. But allowing that basically kept me in the game and made me max my tac ops and scored like 8 on the primary, whereas he only scored 5 overall, just because he was really good at killing me, but I was better at just suiciding onto the objectives. And I probably would have lost if I did not win, if I had lost a priority at any point. That was really tough. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky I won that. But it was really tough. Then in round 3, I was against Peter using his Hunter Clade. So we were mirrored ourselves, and I'd played him before, so he's quite good. But it was like, so he made a good move. He killed one of my assassins he used the double command, the GA2 combo to give his plasma ignore obscure, and then his plasma ran up onto the vantage, shot, and then dashed down because I had +1 APL before. So the problem was he had killed an assassin, and I think he had popped reroll hits, and so did I. But he had left his plasma just by the window, and I was like, oh cool, I've got my arc on engage and my plasma on engage because he had gone full conceal. So I was like, okay. So I eliminated his plasma with my arc rifle. I go, cool, now I don't have to worry about his plasma. And then he put an assassin on the point on 1. And on my last activation, I'd given my plasma +1 APL. So he moved dashed into this assassin's face. He hadn't popped the no reroll thing. And I just rolled 3 hits because it was APU 2. And it basically just killed his assassin. So I took the lead on Faction Tech Op 2, which is like kill more points. And now he was down an assassin and gunner, while I was just down an assassin. And basically from there, because I had a plasma and arc, while he just had an arc and 4 assassins, I was able to take the lead. He went full infiltrator, while I went 1 infiltrator, 4 rust stalkers, and then I gave my rust stalkers all double blades, and that basically gave me the edge. And like the key thing about the mirror I've learned with Hunter Clade, if you eliminate their guns first, you have the advantage, because like his Aquabus couldn't do much. His Aquabus was stuck where it was, and then I was basically able to mop up, take the lead just because I had more board control. And then last turning point, I was controlling both objectives, and I managed to score plant signal beacon as well. So I managed to win, even though it was still close. It was just like what won it for me was basically being able to kill his gunner and an assassin. Turning point 1. Then game 4, we were playing. It's basically where there's 3 objectives and you nominate which ones to be primaries. And I was against Mark with his Harlequins. So I went 3 infiltrators and 2 rust stalkers, right? Because I was like, if I go full guys, I'll just turn off his rerolls, and I have 2 guys to double fight. Pushed up, and basically I expected him to use his Death Jester to move up, shoot my assassin by the barricade, and didn't. And when he didn't, he went for the objective 4. He moved. He charged, shot, and then he only killed 1 guy basically. So what I did, I immediately moved up to objective 6 and claimed it. And then I claimed objective 4, and then I edged out to claim objective 8. And by the end of turning point 2, he had only his Death Jester left and 1 Harlequin. So he conceded there because basically my assassins managed to just kill everyone. Like Turning Point 2, I won initiative. GA2 the plasma and my leader, because the last end of Turning Point 1, my plasma moved and dashed onto the point, deleted his guy on the point, and claimed me the objective from having more on the primary. Then I double activated. Plasma moved into someone's face, killed them. Leader moved into someone's face, killed them. So he was down to 4 operatives at the start of Turning Point 2. And then after that, like, yeah, basically just mopped up because I only needed 2 hits to kill. He did pop Jest, but my assassins have lethal 5 up and they just kept rolling crits. So he couldn't kill. And then he even charged, but he didn't have Epic on. So he was planning to do Murderous Entrance and stuff, but he didn't roll any crits. So the problem is he couldn't. And then after that, yeah, just mopped up. You will notice in the picture, I forgot to deploy the Aquabus, which was an error on my part. And I only realized after the game was over. And it wouldn't really have changed much because I just would have put him at the back of the board to punish shots. But yeah, I think it just goes to show how bad a matchup it is for Harlequins. At the end of the tournament, like, here's a shot of my kill team, if you want to see him again. So I won this trophy, which is some resin version of the Emperor, which is 3D printed, which is really cool. It's like ridiculously big. Like this trophy is huge. And like I'll pop up the final point scoring as well. But like that trophy was huge. I would hold it now, but it's very fragile and it may have all broken and I've rebuilt and I don't want to touch it again. It's probably my best trophy I've ever won. But no, I was really happy to win that tournament because I actually haven't won a London tournament. I've usually just come second a lot. So winning there was actually really like it meant a lot to me, right? Because I haven't been able to win much in London, even though because London's really tough. And I don't know, it was gratifying to win, especially when I had no practice. But it was like each game was super tough. Like even the final is like I was thinking for hours ahead, like the biggest thing you can make when you're winning that far is go, oh, I've won, I don't need to do, and then you just get complacent and make mistakes because Mark would be the kind of player who would punish that. So everyone I played was super tough, super stressful day, very tiring, but I managed to win. I was really happy about that, and I was like, you know what? If I can win with these guys in London with the Hunter Clade, I'll take them to New Mexico, see how that goes, because if it can work there, it can work in New Mexico. But that was the cool London final, so I believe they're going to do it every year. They got it from, like, I think the Spanish players originally. But it was really cool. You know, it was really neat playing an invite-only final because it was really tough. And yeah, it was great because I love playing tough games of Kill Team that push you, and every game pushed me. And it was just fun. The London community is great. And if you are or interested in going to a London tournament, you definitely should. There'll be a lot of fun. And don't worry, no matter what people say, there are no fights. You know, there's nothing crazy like that. But it's good. It's good. And then so for the US Open final, all right. So I'll preface it a bit. I'll cut to like my vlogs and stuff. So I'll cover it a bit, but yeah. So the story was, if you've watched the video I did on it before, you know, it was invite only, 8 players only. It was going to double elimination, mixed of Into the Dark and normal kill team. So it'd be normal kill team, Into the Dark, normal kill team, Into the Dark, with potentially 7 rounds over 2 days. So my plan for this was so when I went to Nova, I didn't really sleep because I had to leave at like 3 a.m. for my flight. So I was like, you know what? I just won't sleep. It worked in Nova. It is a bit rough that I'm landing on the Friday evening. Well, Friday afternoon, and then I basically have to recover. But I'll be fine, right? I'll be fine on the Friday. So flight was delayed by a lot, but we made up on the first one, which was fine. You know, we were actually early on the first flight. Then the connecting flight, stuck in the airport for 7 hours. But I'll let the vlog go over it, right? So I'll be back in a bit.
Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team vlog. This is for, oh gosh, the US Open final. It is like 10:30 p.m. Eastern, American time. I'm in New Mexico. I've technically been up for 42 hours. I left in the UK technically 9 a.m. It is now 5 a.m. UK time. You know, my flight was delayed at start, and then made up time, and then our changeover delayed. Yeah, 5-hour delay. That's fine. Then I just had to wait 1 hour. You know how they say it gets cold at night, and New Mexico is kind of a desert. Yeah, it got really cold. It's like -1 degrees. But I'm in the hotel now. Everything's checked in. For some reason, I'll show you. I have a double bed, as in I have 2 beds. I do have a very nice room. As you can see outside, you should be able to see the pool and like the fire pit. Maybe I'll go there. Who knows? I'm very tired. I don't have time for dinner. I mean, I do have time for dinner, but I have first rounds at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So technically I need to be up at 7 a.m., probably even 6 a.m. So I'm going to sleep. I haven't slept properly for 40 something hours. I'm very tired, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Didn't record anything because I almost went mad. But yeah, at least everything is free. There we go. Good morning. It is nearly 7:30. Round starts at 8, so I probably won't have time for breakfast. Had a good sleep because I passed out. Really don't like the 8 a.m. start, but I've got 4-hour rounds, so either playing 2 games today or a lot more. So against Galapox, as is with Nova, I'll do a post-round rundown with each time. Got some plans, but gonna have to play it by ear because I haven't played for 2 weeks, but also haven't seen the boards. So it's loot and salvage against Galapox. So I have some plans, we'll see about that. But I'm gonna go register, not get breakfast, and try and survive. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Cool, I've just played round 1. I've lost, sadly, against Orion Galapox. So it was a rematch. He played really well. I basically had to stop him. I had to sacrifice an infiltrator to stop him flaming my team and killing me turning point 1. So my plan was like to forward deploy, post an image, and then get all the 4 points and then fall back, which I did, but then I had to commit to the middle to stop getting flamed and died. But unfortunately, he kind of rolled through me, and I forgot about the fly thing. So it was just like, he actually didn't do the tech infect on any of my stuff, and just saved CP so he could dash forward and then flame everything and charge everything. So he did really good at charge blocking, like messed me up really well, like used the glitch fest aura to mess up my shooting as well. So yeah, played really well. But as a bonus thing, so there's still a chance, so like win to lose, whatever, but I'll just hand it over to Travis and Chris. So they just played. So these guys are legends. So I'll let them flip. So let me, I'll re-edit this. So yeah, you guys go whenever.
Hello, this is Travis.
And this is Chris.
We just played our first round. It was a close tie game. It came down to one final melee.
Yep. So 13-13, end of the game. The last swinging move there was for a sniper, a blooded sniper, fighting a Pathfinder. I think it was just a regular Pathfinder drone controller. And the sniper was hitting hard. Drone controller needed to get a crit to parry out to not die and let the sniper loot the last point. CP reroll got the crit, sealed the game. And so that ended up tying the game totally, and it went to tiebreakers. And ultimately the Pathfinders took it because they had a much better secondary selection than the poor Blooded. But excellent game. Bloodbath definitely on the Blooded side, but the Blooded were running around looting a lot of points and having a great time dying. So it was a great match.
Yeah, I think the final victory point total was 8-5 to 10-3.
Yep.
Yeah, so Chris definitely ran away with the primary mission. However, secondaries were our first tiebreaker.
Yep, secondary's first tiebreaker, and that does it.
I think there's 3 sets of tiebreakers, right?
Yep, there are 3 sets of tiebreakers. There is the secondary points, there's APL remaining, and then there's controlling objectives. Then things start getting really crazy and turn into Rochambeau at the end, so definitely.
We even had the chance of a sudden death match, I guess is what we have for the final tiebreaker if everything is tied.
It's unlikely to make it that far.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, it was a fun game. Yeah. So
cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be back with round 2 stuff because now we're doing. So me and Chris will go into like so we could potentially do the losers run. So it's us playing 7 or 8 rounds, something like that. But I'll get back to you guys after round 2. Okay, so it's quite a while after round 2. Unfortunately, I lost. I was against Carlos. I'll flip up the image now. So I made a lot of silly mistakes. And the thing is, the smallest mistakes on Into the Dark cause big issues. And Carlos is a really good player. Everyone here is a really good player. And it's like, so my original game plan was to go for 3 objectives, like a mid and then 1 bomb. And then I realized after the end of turning point 1, I'd committed for every objective. made a few minor misplays, and then it was just stuff going wrong at the wrong time. It was quite even up until turning point 3, because I keep forgetting door pillars aren't pillars if they're part of a wall. So I was using door pillars to stay safe, but I keep forgetting if they're part of a huge wall section, those doors do nothing unless they're open. Oh no, even if they're open, they're not. So it's like, Carlos did advise me once, and I acknowledged it, and then completely forgot about it and did it twice and missed the thing. That cost me the game. So it was 14-5 in the end, but really close. It was just, God, I made those mistakes. But I am quite jet lagged, but also quite drunk now. I've had a lot of alcohol. I've got 2 free vouchers for more alcohol, and it's going to be an interesting experience. So what I'm going to do, I'm definitely recording the final, so I can record and semi-commentate, but the stuff might be weird. But it should be fine, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of New Mexico. Let me flip this around. Look at that, that's so cool. It's like 3 degrees outside, because it's cold in the winter, but that's cool. So I'll be back with some kind of stuff. Like, this place is really cool. Like, Games Workshop did us a solid. I mean, if we just got an extra day, that would have been the icing on the cake. But it's a really nice place. Really cool to be here. And like, everyone's really nice. Like, all the Kill Team players and everyone involved is so cool. So a little bit disappointed I went 0-2, but if I was being honest, I kind of expected it. So now just to go back and help with the event, like with rulings and stuff, if they want. So I'll be back in a bit, which might be a long time, but we'll see.
So now you've watched the vlog, you may wonder what happened after Saturday. I did drink a lot. It actually made me sick. I don't know. It was like I don't know. I just got sick. It was not good. I only got like 3 hours sleep or 4 hours. Yeah, so that 7-hour delay messed me up like really badly, because I got into New Mexico at like 10 o'clock when I should have gone at like 5. And then we waited, like me and the other British guys waited for our connecting van, and we was going to be like, oh, you know, it's not going to be that long. It was an hour wait. And I did not realize it was 1 degrees. It was -1, sorry. So I was like, my friends were like, oh yeah, you're going to New Mexico. It's actually quite warm. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. They were wrong. It was so cold. Yeah, that messed me up a lot. Like, I was so jet lagged. I didn't like, because I was speaking to the Spanish guys, and we were like, if we do this again next year, we're literally going to ask Games Workshop if we could just pay to come a day earlier, because it was rough for us. We all landed like really late. I got into the hotel at like 11 or something. It was super late. One of the American guys got in at like 1 a.m. and he had to be up at like, 8, well, not even at 8, he had to be up at like 7:30 to get to the game 1. Super rough. And it's like, it's not Games Workshop's fault. Like, I think there was some storm going on. But it's definitely made me of the mindset of, when I next go to America, direct flights only, because that connection was rough. Like, just, it was so bad. And it like messed me up. Like, as you would have seen, like round 1, completely forgot about the fly and flamer. Like, but that was on my own fault for not being practiced enough. And then game 2, like literally my game plan was to go for the middle and bottom objectives, to go like, okay, I'll just go for one side and then I'll fight through, because I'll focus 11 guys on 3 objectives, and then I can just push out, right? And then I only realized that, and like I was like, that was my game plan. So why have I gone for every objective? And I was like, it's too late to course correct. And I, like, Carlos even reminded me, he was like, John, pillars don't provide cover in the middle of a wall. Even if they're a door, they have to be the edge. I was like, yeah, cool. Kept forgetting it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm making so many errors. Outside of that, it was really fun, like recording and watching those high level games. So I did record the final. I got to be on the GW stream, which some of you may have seen, and it was really cool. Like, honestly, the event was really, really cool. I'll show up some stuff that I didn't cover in the vlog. So I watched the narrative games. So the narrative tournament for Kill Team, there was a narrative 40k tournament with Kill Team stuff going on, and the narrative 40k stuff was really cool. Like, those boards were really fun. Everyone, like, they had like basically GMs as inquisitors, like giving commands and stuff. It was really cool. They even did, like, for the people who paint up their titans, they did this end of tournament parade ground where it basically turned into like the drop site massacre, where people revealed them as chaos. and then started like fighting. It was really cool, really fun. But the tournament overall was really, really good. And I was like, it's hard to explain how nice everyone was. Like it really highlighted to me how like Kill Team has the best international community. Like we were so tight knit, everyone was so chill. Like the thing is, like I was a bit disappointed. I went 0-2, but I was like, considering the factors and the people I was playing against, I was like, it's fine. Like the field was really tough, and it's like anyone who made any mistake immediately got capitalized by the opponent, so you couldn't make any mistakes. But it was like yeah, the only downside was the flights and the jet lag, which is just not GW's fault, right? It's just the planes. Like the flights were nice. Like oddly, American Airlines is really good for like food and stuff. But oh my gosh, I was so jet lagged. Like there was points like, so when I was at the LGT final at the in September, there were points because I didn't take enough time off before going where I almost blacked out during day one, to the point in the final round I was making stupid mistakes because I just forgot because I was so tired. And I was doing the same thing because I was more tired this time. I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna mess up so bad. To the point where I was like, maybe I should have brought Pathfinders, not because I would have done better, but I just know that them inside of out, so it would have been fine. But it was really good. Like the cool thing is, I'll show some more pictures now, but the Kill Team tournament, the Kill Team yearly trophy. So for 40k and Sigma, it's a hammer. We get a full scale Imperial Primaris bolt gun, which was going to have a plaque with all our names, and the person who wins gets it in gold. So like we're the firsts, and they're just going to keep adding to it. So it was really cool. Like honestly, the event was amazing, and if you try and qualify for it, you'll have fun. Like the thing I really liked is like, so Mike Brandt went around at the start for everyone telling them like, there's no trophies for winning. You've all won your own event, like with your own story. So there's just a celebration of that. So you're just playing for fun. And it's like, I really appreciate that. That was really cool. Because like we were like, he's like, no matter who wins and loses, you're all winners because you had to play hard to qualify, which was true. So it was just really nice. And everyone was super chill. Like shout outs to Coke Zero, the Coke Zero can who saved the day. And Ben, who was like the best TO. He was so cool, man. Like I respected, like tough for him. And it was like, I really liked how he said like, I'm going 100% rules as written. So it's all rules as written. And like, it was really good he stuck to that. Because it's like, some TOs are like, well, that's under my own interpretation and stuff like that. And it gets a bit miffy. But Ben was so cool. Like, it was just such a good time. Like, it's really hard to describe. Like, we all bonded. It was great. It felt like a proper family kind of thing. Like, it really makes me want to, like, one of my goals / dreams for Kill Team is for 40k and Sigma, you have this international team tournament where countries build teams of 5 or 8 to play against each other. And I'd love to do that for Kill Team, because I think seeing everyone from the final, like from everywhere basically, was so cool, and everyone just came together. It was so much fun. Like literally, we did plan like whoever lost would just play each other, and then we just watched the games because it was just so interesting. And it's like, yeah, even though I only played 2 games, watching all those high level games was really fun. And like, obviously I did get to commentate on some of them. So overall, like really great, even though I went 0-2. It was fun. But it was a really cool event. Like, as I said, I would recommend you going if you can qualify. You will have a good time. Like, we got so much swag. Like, we all got individual bags with like tumblers and like coins and stuff. We all got vouchers and stuff for like drinks and off for the store. So cool. Like, the only other, like, the hotel was great. The only downside with the hotel is they basically didn't refund me and the other Spanish players our money for the room. Because we basically, you have to pay like cover in case you break the room or anything. So it turns out we're the only ones who didn't get refunded, which sucks. But it was like, I would like the money back. I would really like the money back, but I can kind of tolerate it because it was a like 4 or 5 star resort. Like, yeah, the only downside is if we could just stay a little bit longer, like we would have gone on the hike. So there's a cool mountain nearby. We would have stayed in the spa. I didn't have enough time for the jacuzzi. It was disappointing in that regard. But like, they gave us free giant marshmallows to roast in the fire pits. And then like every day they'd make free Native American bread at 11 a.m. So that was our amazing breakfast. And it saved me a lot. But it was really cool, like really good event. Sadly, I did not go to Walmart. I think I'm glad I didn't go to the Walmart Supercenter, because Walmart's weird, very weird. But that's pretty much it from me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well. Come on, let me know what you thought of these events and stuff. I should have more events coming up in the future to cover, hopefully with a better voice. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly thank my Patreon. So for my Adepts of the Crit, I have Samaru, Sam, Ninja Lee 83, John Thomas, Captain Murder, Dave, Daniel, Average Joe 27, and Adzik. And then for my Veterans of the Crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah, I'd also like to thank everyone who was at the the US Open final and everyone who sent support. Like, it really meant a lot. Yeah. It was really fun. I was so happy after the US Open final. Like, everyone was so cool and chill. It was just great. Like, those guys will be friends for life now. Like, we're our own special group, led by the Coke Zero can, which no one will understand. Coke Zero forever, Coke Zero for life. But it was really good seeing again. I have to go next year because I didn't get to play Chris Bacchio, Travis Cheng, and they need to go down. I might play the Spanish guys in December, this December at Warhammer World, if I can get to Warhammer World, because there are no trains. That's going to be fun. I might have to take a 4-5 hour coach, which will destroy my life. But until next time, no matter what jet lag does to you, remember there's always hope as long as you can roll a crit.